Joining us now is Hearthstone senior game designer Dave Kosak. Dave, first off, where did you get that and why can't we have them?
It's so real. It's so real. I feel like
Are you in 3D?
I feel like I can touch the Doom Hammer.
Whoa.
It's amazing. We rendered the Kobolds and Catacombs cinematic in glorious 3D.
You did?
So if you have red and blue glasses, I don't know why you would. If you have them at home for your Doctor Who cosplay, I guess.
have it.
Yeah. Then you can see the cinematic in 3D at kobolds3d.com, and you can. It feels like you're going.
Kobolds3D.com?
Kobolds3d.com. It feels like you're going down the tunnels. It's amazing.
I want to do that. Are you giving these away? Because I need to take a couple
Yeah,
home.
yeah. No take candle.
No take.
You don't take candle.
Thank you.
I love it. Well done.
Thank you for setting that up.
I
for
love
me.
it.
That
I
was
love it.
Speaking
glorious.
of that, by the way, Kobolds and Catacombs.
Congratulations on the
Thank
new
you.
expansion. It
Oh.
looks awesome.
We are so excited about it. We are really excited. I mean, it is like the fantasy, like the classic fantasy dungeon crawl, and we're bringing it to Hearthstone. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You know, speaking of that, by the way, just like you say, bringing it to Hearthstone because you are somebody who worked on the World of Warcraft team for such a long time, and a very beloved developer that everyone knows Fargo.
Thank you.
And you've moved over recently to Hearthstone for the Lich King expansion was your first one, right?
The Lich King expansion, that's right.
Right,
That's
so
right.
now like coming over and really kind of diving into this new experience and bringing kobolds, what it was like for you coming from
know.
Warcraft.
Well, so the really fun part was on World of Warcraft, I was working on the artifacts for the Legion expansion,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I come over to Hearthstone, and we're doing legendary weapons for Hearthstone this time around. So I got to bring some of the artifacts with
Oh,
me.
that's
Yeah.
so cool.
That's
Right.
amazing.
So we showed Alaneth at the panel. So
Yeah.
Alaneth was the arcane mage staff in World of Warcraft Legion.
So kind
He's
of
in
a
Hearthstone.
new stat stick in a way.
New stat stick, and it talks to you in Hearthstone.
Does it
It's
really?
It totally does. Of course,
Wait,
it has
course
to.
it
the
does.
staff has a voice?
It does. Alaneth speaks to you in World of Warcraft, so of course he has to
It is
speak to you.
the, it
in
is the
Hearthstone.
most
That's
annoying,
right.
helpful
God.
person you can have
Yeah.
when you're an arcane mage.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
Trivia,
now,
the voice of Alaneth also sang the song for our cinematic.
oh, get out of
Really?
town.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So cinematic's great.
So every class gets a legendary weapon.
Every class
but
gets a legendary
like
weapon.
Alaneth, some of them aren't actually damage-dealing
Yeah.
weapons.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
Some of them are
buffs.
caster weapons, and
Yeah.
they're really specifically, you kind of build your deck around sort of what you do. Like the priest legendary that we showed is the Dragon Soul, which if you're fans of World of Warcraft, you know the dragon, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And you could just be summoning dragons left and right. It's glorious.
Summon a dragon, summon a dragon, summon a dragon.
Yeah. It's going to be my favorite. Yeah.
So, there's something about, I want to talk about dungeon runs because I
Yes.
know, like,
Yes.
that's such a cool new feature. And you, like, the way we have it here is that you guys have 40 unique treasures
That's right.
and 50 encounters.
Yeah, 48 different encounters. And every time you
Wow.
start a new dungeon run, it deals out a deck of 8 encounters for you. It like builds the dungeon.
Amazing.
And it's 8 random encounters of escalating difficulty. So you never know what's around the corner. It just feels like it's like
So
a dungeon,
cool.
like you're playing a tabletop game. You don't know what you're going to find, and that's what I think is so exciting about this
So
mode.
now you have to get through 8 bosses.
That's right.
And once you get through 8 bosses and you defeat all of them, what happens?
Well, we have a special card back if you can defeat the dungeon with all 9 classes.
With all 9
All
classes?
9 classes. Really difficult.
I was just
don't
about to
think-
say.
I don't think a lot of people are going to get that card back. That's a challenge. People
Oh.
that's a challenge. Because it's difficult. And
Yeah?
you never, like I said, you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You have to build a deck, but you kind of have to build a deck that's ready for anything because you don't know what bosses you're going to
Yeah.
find.
Right.
Yeah. It's
And then
really good.
as you go down, you're acquiring cards to add to your
Yes,
deck, right?
Exactly.
And that's
You're
a new
building up a
mechanic.
deck. Yeah. It's great. It's entirely self-contained, so you don't
Yep.
need any cards to play. You can just come in and fresh. You'll start with 15 health and a relatively weak deck of 10 cards. That's all
Right.
you start with. So
Right.
the first boss is tricky, right?
Yeah.
Every time you beat a boss, you get to add cards to your deck,
Ugh.
and you try and make choices to build out the really powerful deck. The most fun is that we have treasures that are exclusive to the dungeon run mode. These are cards, they're so bonkers, we would never print them as a collectible set. And they look because
Yeah, we've
you-
seen a couple.
you
They're
get to do
crazy.
mean things to the AI, and it's super fun. The gloves of mugging, where you just take cards out of their hand.
The gloves
Yeah.
of mugging.
Gloves of mugging.
Such a good name.
Yeah,
I'm just
ready
going to
to
grab
go.
cards from people. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Sorry, gloves of mugging.
Sorry,
Gloves
that's
of
not my
mugging.
fault.
Right.
I put them in
Who comes
my
up with all of
pouch
these
holding.
names? Who comes up
We
with
had-
everything?
We just got a design team that just, I tell you, working on Hearthstone, it's like just distilling pure joy into a
Oh
game.
my God.
It's
And
just
it's
so
much
fun.
fun. This expansion in particular, the whole team was just so engaged because everybody had either tabletop role-playing experience or classic computer RPGs. Just so much stories to bring to the table, and everybody wanted their favorite thing in there, you know?
Can you imagine a lot of, like, you know, card games kind of evolved from the tabletop era? So, like, this sort of everybody working on the team has that experience.
Yeah, it does. Really, it was just a shared experience. And I think it just, the love comes across in everything, every card you play, the names that you love.
Through,
that cinematic, we all just think it's just so wonderful, you know?
It was amazing. It brought me back to my childhood playing pen and paper D&D.
Yes.
And that's what it is.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's that same field. So on the show floor, what are people able to get their hands on today?
So you can play the dungeon run. It's just a little subset. It's just a sample. Give them a taste, a little taste. Little taste of dungeon
They
run.
just see the candle in the back. They can't touch it.
Right. No touch.
No touch of the candle.
So you can play 3 encounters.
Yeah.
And then we cut you off. So it's like, oh, it's just getting good. And then but so you get 3 encounters, and we kind of rigged it so in the full game, you play through 8 encounters, and you get a big treasure after every other one.
I got it.
In the demo, we'll give you a treasure after every one. So you really get to kind of feel like you really get to build something.
It's a real taste.
Yeah.
Treasure.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Now, it says here that there also, you guys have unidentified items. So how does that work?
Yeah, that was the big fantasy of like, I don't know, you're playing a video game, you find an item and you don't know what it does. It's a magic sword. Like, I'm going to swing it around. I want to see what it does, right? So we tried to figure out how do we get that mechanic in Hearthstone. So we have unidentified items. And it's a card you put in your deck. It's unidentified.
So even when you put it in your deck, it's unidentified.
Yeah, exactly. So the sample that we showed is the unidentified elixir. It's a priest card, and it gives a minion +2/+2.
Sure.
For 3 mana.
Okay.
And that's for sure. But it also does something else. You don't know what the something else is, right? And you don't find out until you're in the game. And when you draw the card, it shimmers and then it changes in your hand so you see what the actual elixir is.
Now, is it always positive, or could it be like deal 2 damage now to every single minion on the board?
Always positive. It's always something you want.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, it kind of gets that fantasy of like it's loot and I get it. Yeah,
that's
no
good.
cursed items.
No cursed,
We thought about that.
The hands of giving.
Yeah.
Well, they got gloves of giving.
I know. I wanted the mugging.
I wanted the mugging.
Now, I do have a really important question because it's something that Alex and I have talked a lot about with Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Is why there aren't candle heads for people to wear.
I was talking about that.
We also think there should be candle beards because you do have candle beards.
We do have candle beard.
Candle beard,
everyone thought this expansion was going to be about pirates. No.
Oh, really?
No, it's about kobolds. But we have a kobold pirate.
Kobold pirate.
Yeah, so I did want to pass out like glowing candles at BlizzCon, but we did get
we
these.
did the 3D glasses.
You got 3D
I'm just
candles.
saying, from the Abathur hat to the Pepe.
To the Pepe.
I think that the candle, take candle, would just go over quite well.
We're going to push hard for that.
Yeah.
Please do. I will wear it.
I also love the fact that you guys basically started with the idea. I mean, I don't mean to say that the kobolds are simple.
Don't let him hear you say that.
Don't let him hear this. But a simple idea, which is a kobold. And boy, did you take that to the extreme. You saw the fantasy mushroom kobolds that are they wade their way. So how was it in being able to take kobolds and put them into different environments and then going, how would that turn into it?
It was super fun, and we started to or what's the one thing you know about kobolds? Candles on their head.
Candles.
So we started putting candles everywhere. I mean, you see them in the art. There's candles all over the place. And I'm like, hey guys, at some point we're going to take this candle joke too far.
Yeah, and
but
then everybody didn't.
You know what? You could take it a lot farther than you think. We went crazy for candles. It's out of control.
My God.
Oh my God.
It is fantastic. It is fantastic.
I'm so glad you were able to come over to the booth today. I mean, I know you had a really busy schedule.
Yeah. Well, BlizzCon is huge this year.
Yeah.
It's really out of control. It's so big, they had to build extra just for Hearthstone. We were just so huge.
That's amazing.
It's also nice to interview you, by the way, without your glasses for the first time.
Yeah, I got the
Congrats.
LASIK. I got the LASIK.
But you still do have your
I do have
kobold
3D.
glasses. What's the website again for it?
I can see in 3D. Kobolds3D.com.
Kobolds3D.com. All right, Dave, thank you so much for joining us.